and RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day as always. I certainly am, and a lot of great things are going on. Anywho, the reason I chose this song particularly, well, one, it's called "The Gift," which I thought was very cool, because that's always kind of a good thing, right? Everyone likes gifts. And the other side is it's from Angels and Airwaves, and I was having a hard time finding anything that was in line with broadcasting and receiving. So there you go. Broadcasting versus receiving is the point of the show, and Angels and Airwaves, there you go. We don't need to whisper. Name of the CD or album or LP if you're really old school, as I throw that away. All right, cool. So I just want to get to the skinny of it. Let's cover the business real quick, of course. Dan, RadioStyle is the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, boy, I'd love that. That'd just be great if you could somehow get to YouTube. Even if you're not there already, maybe you're listening to it through Facebook. You know, just Dan space RadioStyle, one word, RadioStyle, and then just say like subscribe, and boom. I don't know, it's a good thing. If you want to help me out just a teeny tiny bit, it makes a big difference. And of course, if you want to contact me, that is spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. Heck yeah, that's how you do that. Okay, so broadcasting versus receiving. How I came up with this, ironically, is I was cruising into work this morning. And I was rolling up to, driving up to, yeah, whatever. Can't even make that sound cool. I was driving, and there was a light in front of me. And it was green, and it was a little ways off, and I'm like, it's going to turn red. And I'm like, positive thoughts, right? Because I'm thinking I'm being negative, and I'm changing my world. And then it, boom, changed, and I was like, figures, I knew it. And it dawned on me, I'm like, whoa. That's the difference between broadcasting and receiving, because I was just like chilling. It wasn't like I was like, oh my God, it's going to change. Oh, shoot. It's like I wasn't having this big, long dialogue in my head. It just hit me. It's like, boom, it's going to change. I'm like, oh, let's try to undo that. No, not how it works. So it gave me the idea, and I did a little like mental message. Well, it was actually an audio message on an app. By the way, it's a great app. I have nothing to do with it, but it's Dictadroid. And it's a free app. I would assume they make it for Apple. I guess for those of you that have Apples, but it would be odd to have a Droid product on your Apple. And I use a Samsung now, ironically, so it's not even anywho, doesn't matter. But Dictadroid's a great little audio thing. You can make little audio notes and kind of roll with your day. So anywho, I made a little note, and I'm like, I want to remember to talk about this because I think this would make a great show. So what do I mean by each is what the first question I think I should probably touch upon. So broadcasting is when you're thinking, when you're consciously making thoughts, which when a lot of the stuff I talk about, law of attraction and manifesting and all these things, it's really about controlling your thoughts. It's about making sure what you're thinking when you have time to think about things like, I got to take the kids to the da-da-da, or I've got to run some errands after work, or I've got that project I got to work on. These are your thoughts. These are your broadcasted messages. It's kind of like a radio station. When the DJ opens up the microphone and he's broadcasting outward, those are your thoughts to the universe. And the universe is listening to every single one of those thoughts, mind you. So that's why we're always talking about trying to make them positive and all that stuff. You know, you want to make sure that you're sending out what you wish to experience. That is really the key. And oh my God, it's amazing how well that works, by the way. I'm going to do a future show on all the cool stuff that's freaking starting to line up in my world right now. But again, staying positive, even doing daily affirmations, which is, again, you choosing to broadcast positive messages, highly recommend it. If there is any section of your life right now that you wish to work on, this is kind of an aside, but I think it's good because it so ties into stuff I'm working on right now. If there is any section in your life that you are currently wishing to make progress, be it money, be it relationships, be it jobs, be it, new car, anything that you're hoping to change in your life, hoping to improve, wish to see some sort of enhancement, if you will, in your life, get online, look up affirmations for fill in blank. Seriously, look affirmations, fill in blank, and it's going to pull up all these very positive sort of stated things like I am always in the divine right timing, or money and income are constantly finding their way to me, or my soulmate and I are drifting together, or love always seems to find me no matter where I'm at, or I will be ready for the raise when it comes my way. Like all these sorts of positive affirmations. And seriously, every single day for like 5-10 minutes, wherever, whenever, be it before you get in the shower, right before you get to work 5-10 minutes early, sit in your car, read them out loud. Read them every day, every single day. Do it for months, Because ultimately what it does is it creates a lot of good habits and kind of gets you moving in a direction. But the other cool thing is really after a few days to week, you'll really start to notice things. And then, of course, you got to kind of pounce on it. So again, broadcasting, that was a great example of how we can control our broadcasted thoughts out to the universe in ways that are going to benefit us for things that we're trying to work on, right? So we're still trying to keep in line with all this manifesting and all that stuff, because it's really, I think, a key part of what I'm trying to help show or help teach or help remind everyone, because really, you guys really, on a subconscious level, you already know this. This comes from our core self, from our souls, from where we come from. This is like the law of the universe, and I'm just trying to remind y'all. Okay, receiving. What is receiving? Well, receiving is your intuition. That's that small voice that pops into your head. And really, how to tell the two apart? Well, yeah, one other thing I guess I want to bring up. Broadcasting is what's considered sun energy for a lot of people. So sun energy is kind of the doing. It makes things grow. It's energy outward, right? And moon energy is what is receiving. That's more of the spiritual stuff. That's more of when you're kind of waiting for something to occur. Like you've already sent out all the vibes. You've already sent out all the energy saying, universe, this is what I'd like. Thank you for bringing it to me. And then moon energy is kind of sitting back and letting it come. And you always need a little bit of mixture. Sometimes you need a little bit of sun energy while you're waiting for stuff. Maybe you got to make some phone calls. Maybe you got to shoot out some emails. Maybe you got to text somebody and just be nice and remind them that, hey, I still love you no matter what. I don't know what's going on between us right now, but you're the best. Whatever, right? It's all those things. So again, receiving is when those intuitive thoughts come your way. When you're sitting there and it just hits you, like you're like, I don't know, driving, right? And then all of a sudden, so-and-so pops into your head. That's usually a good indicator. That's kind of a receiving thought, right? It just comes from nowhere. It's not like I'm thinking about what I've got to make for dinner, and then I'm thinking about, oh, yeah, I got to go to the grocery store. And then you're like, oh, I might see so-and-so at the grocery store. That's, I don't know, that could still be receiving. But on the whole, that's generally like it's in line with your thought process. Receiving stuff tends to be kind of just out of left field. It's just like, what? Where'd the hell did that come from? So that's kind of how you can sort of tell them apart. Well, obviously what you think is your conscious thoughts. But sometimes when these things hit you, you're like, was that me or was that universe or who was that? Again, receiving stuff generally, I think it's a fair way to get you going on it until you start to be able to dial it in a little better. But it's like it kind of, again, it just comes out of nowhere. So thoughts are broadcast. We need to be very careful that we control those. As I said, intuitions, receiving moon energy. We want to make sure we pay attention to that, because as we're trying to manifest things, the moon energy is kind of the other part of what's going to help you know what your next step is. It's the thing that's going to, so-and-so walks into your life and it's all of a sudden you're like, yeah, so I've been involved in such and such. Let me give you a real world example, because I'm not trying to get too far off of what I'm going to talk about in the future. But I work at a coffee shop on Sundays. It's just a little thing I love doing. I've been doing it for years, so it's like gets in your blood. You don't want to stop. And a customer came in, and him and his wife, they're awesome. I've known them for years. And I've never really talked to him about what he does. And in fact, the funniest part is I've had a really hard time remembering this guy's name for the life of me. He's told me like 100 times, and he's told me his wife's name. And they come in all the time, and I get in trouble for not putting the name on the thing. And I don't want to ask him. I don't want to ask the guy's name. I don't want to ask him because I haven't remembered it, and he's already told me like 100 times. So anyway, he comes in, and I start talking about this voiceover stuff that I got going on. Yeah, I've been doing this guy I bumped into and voiceover stuff, and he's like, voiceover? And I go, yeah, it's kind of something I used to be in broadcasting, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that's what I do for a living. I get people to help do these things. And I'm like, what? Huh? What? Where? What? How'd this happen? So again, receiving, right? Because I started talking about this, and now I've got stuff lined up. I'm going to be doing a demo for him, I think tomorrow is the plan. And I even bought a cool little new digital recorder that's going to be really awesome for helping out. It's a little bit cleaner sound than what I'm currently recording on. But again, all because it just out of the blue decided to start talking about this to some random person. Well, not really random, but still someone that I see, 100 people in any given Sunday. It's not like every single one of them that comes in and goes, hey, by the way, did you know I do voiceover? Hey, by the way, do you know I do voiceover? No, I don't do it that way. Just bam, out of the blue, hit this guy up, and boom. Here I am already making progress towards the stuff that I've been broadcasting my thoughts towards. Okay? Broadcasting, receiving. Both are extremely important in the big picture. Receiving is going to help give you some good energy on the direction you need to go. And broadcasting is kind of how you focus it. Broadcasting is kind of like the rudder on the ship, and receiving is kind of like the wind in the sails. You know what I mean? So the wind in the sails is what's taking you where you're going, but you're steering it with your thoughts. That's actually a pretty bitchin' analogy. So there you go. Run with that. So again, that's pretty much the point of broadcasting versus receiving. That's Dan Radio Style. Please, again, subscribe if you like, and also share this with other people. If for some reason you like it, and you're like, dude, you got to check this guy out. He actually is talking about something kind of cool, and I do sometimes. It happens from time to time. Watch out, cool things come out of my face. My word hole says cool things, as Chris Porter would say. He's a very funny comedian. Okay, and if you, of course, want to get in touch with me, that is spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com, and station, of course, Dan Radio Style. We'll look forward to doing some more stuff for you. I got some great things in the works that I look forward to talking about. And, you guys email me. Let me know if you got stuff, got questions. Share with me things that are working out with you. I'll bring it up. I did have that one friend that was talking about how right after we talked about some stuff, boom, she gets a raise almost immediately. And it's just kind of like once you get your energy strong on something, and sometimes just having someone around to talk with about it and kind of get your level of energy up a little bit, then those thoughts even have more power. So again, as you raise your energy, as you raise your vibration, as you raise all that stuff up, you have more power to manifest quicker, and you'll notice it. And it's also, the bad side of that is when you spin back around into old habits and start having negative thoughts, quickly that momentum gets taken away from you, because you would do so much damage to ourselves if we allowed ourselves to just keep being negative when we're riding really strong energy. So this is a big thing we're all trying to learn how to do, is control our thoughts and get better at it. So there you go. Dan Radio Style. Thanks, everybody. We'll be talking to you soon.